I had great problems with an author called Jenny Randalls.
Jenny Randalls.
Now, I
The artist formerly known as Christopher Paul.
I don't care where she's from, what she is, but I have a great problem.
Let's just explain let's say it's worth it. It bears explaining to people perhaps who don't know. Jenny Randalls is one of Britain's foremost experts on the subject of UFOs and extraterrestrials.
Many, many, many books.
Indeed, she came to prominence in the 70s. I remember reading the books late 70s. And she's been an investigator. She's looked into all sorts of paranormal goings on. It's fair to say she's been subject to a few paranormal goings on of herself, because I understand that she's not always been Jenny.
No.
Is it? Perhaps explain.
Well, she did start off life as a male.
Right.
And then, of course, she had all the paraphernalia done.
Yeah. And it all took away.
And lo and behold, she's now a female. Okay. Which is, by the by, that's fair enough.
Do you think that sullies people's judgments of him, her?
No, I don't think it makes any difference, that.
Okay.
Doesn't make any difference to me.
I'd say that's a bit contentious, that, especially in the society when she came to prominence. I can imagine
very different times.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, what does she know? She used to be a bloke."
Well, but
people wouldn't bat an eye. The sex change today, it's almost bloody mandatory, isn't it? Today, to
but I don't
then
think
there'd have been this big stigma, wouldn't there?
No, I don't think she ever had much problem. I mean, she were a teacher, you know. She turned into an author. She started investigating UFOs. I don't think she's had any trouble at all. And like I said, that side of things is neither here nor there to me, because when I first started reading the books, I didn't know this story anyway, so I don't think it was trumpeted all over the place, you know. So, but my problem with her, she started off, she wrote a book with Peter Warrington in the 70s, and she's heralding these cases for UFOs, and you know, and all of a sudden now she says, "Oh, there is no aliens," and she's made a very good living all these years.
Well, you know, the counterbalance to that is she's an investigator. She's been investigating these things since the 70s. Therefore, she's privy to new information. She goes looking at cases. Could it not be that she's found enough evidence to change her mind? In the 70s and 80s, she's an advocate of UFOs and extraterrestrials, and she's changed her point of view. We're all entitled to change our minds, aren't we?
Of course we are.
Could it not be that she's made a few bob off it, and she's realised that while people are still treading the same old ground, there's not as much cash to be made out of it, so she turned her attention to crop circles, maybe?
Two sides of the same coin, huh?
But my problem is, we've got crop circles coming. Some people say they're made by aliens, you know, the messages, the pictograms.
These are the crop circles again, because some people might not know what we're on about. You get a field of corn, grain, barley, anything that's got big stalks sticking up, and overnight in darkness, people go to bed, they have a field of corn. The day after, they've got great big circles, patterns, which can only be viewed from above, really stamped into, you know, like people have kind of walked around with, things have landed in the corn.
The amount of books that have been brought, you know, you got a few people a few years ago having a look at them, and now a few years later, experts. How can you be expert on something you don't know anything about what it is, what's causing it?
Well, I suppose if you go back to people that were doing the first autopsies and understanding the human body, you would have had people that were experts in the sense they knew more about something by cutting up, dissecting limbs and dissecting people than the populace did. Well, so is that not the definition of an expert? I know more than you.
That's fair enough. But at least people that learnt on bodies and did autopsies, they've got answers, and they're still getting answers today. But crop circles, you know, I don't know if you've ever watched a programme on crop circles. Have you watched those?
I've watched plenty, lots of things.
So they start off, you know, crop circles are appearing, and, you know, this is happening and that's happening, and farmers, they go to bed and look what's in the field and all that. And at the end of the programme, they always say, so we don't know what's causing them, it's up to you.
Okay.
Well, I'd just like to chime in there. I think it's quite hard to define yourself or anybody else as an expert in a field where there is no conclusive knowledge, no conclusive proof.
Yeah.
Experts in, say, crop circle formation is surely just an expert of conjecture, speculation.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing concrete or scientific behind
I think.
it.
Well, what do you think about that? Do you think they're hoaxes?
Well, it's been documented that it's quite easy to hoax a crop circle. Yet I've seen evidence of some designs, some patterns, and not just with the design, but the sheer amount of space that they cover. It'd be one hell of an elaborate hoax. So again, I'm not. It's hard to class myself as a believer or a non-believer without having any great deal of knowledge myself. But all I have is an opinion on it.
Yeah.
And I think there's the odd one that I've seen that that is quite an elaborate hoax, and to be honest, I love a good prank as much as anybody else, but could I really be asked covering like half a mile with boards on my feet? And
you won't do it on your own.
Some of these things do spring up overnight, and some of them are quite impressive. You could argue that.
I think the fancier the pattern, the more likely it is to be a hoax.
Yeah.
Myself.
But on some, there's been right next to where the pattern is formed. There's been no disturbance of anything else.
In others, there's been chemical changes in the actual corn stalks, the plant matter.
But that's why I do think the fancier the pattern, the more likely it is to be a hoax. The simple round patterns, I think they're more likely to have some substance to them. I don't know, but I do think 99% of them are hoaxes. But right away, the same old people, same old scenario. Oh, well, UFOs is dying down a bit. I'm a crop circle cereologist now. I'm an expert in crop circles. Nobody's an expert in crop circles. Nobody.